Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay! Choo-choo!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, for joining us. All aboard the murder train, leaving the station right now, pulling away on schedule as usual.
Yeah.
Here we 100% on time departure. Here we go. We got a lot to. What a crazy case we have this week. Of course, like it's ever not crazy.
Right.
We're only given an hour on this particular show, so it's going to be
knee deep every time.
It's going to be nuts. Yeah, so let's do this. Before we get to it, real quick, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get tickets right now for the virtual live show.
Let's go!
Let's go. October 27th. It's available for a week after that. It's our Halloween spectacular. We're going to do it. It's just like a regular live show. If you're somewhere where you can't get to a live show, or you missed the live show, or couldn't get tickets, or whatever it is, this is your chance. We set it up the same way with the screen, just like we're in a theater. Only difference is you're not in a theater, you're in your house, or wherever you want to be. I don't care. Wherever there's Wi-Fi, you can do it. So do it. You can watch it for as many times as you want. It's available for a week after that, 7 days. So you can buy it, watch it, do whatever you want. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you find those right now. And head over to Patreon. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get the bonus material.
Hell yeah.
Oh, so many bonus episodes. For $5 or above, you get the whole back catalog, over 100 episodes, And you get 2 new episodes every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. You get access to it all. This week, you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the Danbury Trashers, which were a minor league hockey team, but we're not going to talk about hockey. We're going to talk about the fact that they were owned by a mafioso who bought it for his 17-year-old son and let this kid run. It's crazy. And then
Hockey barely matters.
All sorts of federal crime involved.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Garbage trucks on fire. It's The Sopranos meets hockey. It's interesting. Right. Check that out. And then for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about the whole Heyman Lee, Adnan Syed serial, the whole thing. And I have spent countless hours on this. I've read and heard every bit of information there is to hear. So we have our own opinions. We'll talk about who we think is responsible for this and all of that. We'll get into the whole thing on that, and it'll be fun. Do that. That is patreon.com/crime and sports. And at the end of the regular show, you'll get a shout out where Jimmie will mispronounce your name while trying his utter best to get it correct. So that said, I think it's time, Jimmie. Let's do this.
Right.
Let's sit back. What do you say? Everybody out there, wherever you are, in hopefully a not too public of a place, sit back, clear the lungs, and let's shout, Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmie.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
We shall.
All right. We are going all the way to Ohio this week.
Oh, Jesus.
Headed to the Midwest. Let's do this. And this is Western Ohio. It's like Northwest Ohio. It's closer to Fort Wayne than it is to Columbus or Cincinnati, put it that way. It's about an hour 45 to Columbus, about a little over 2 hours to Cincinnati. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere out there. It
sounds like it.
Western Ohio is not, there's not a whole lot going on out there.
Yeah, apart from the 3 cities they've got, it is fucking bleak.
It's when you drive through it, you go, wow, there's nothing here except for Grandpa whatever's cheese place.
Cheese barn.
Cheese Emporium. Was it Grandpa Gus's Cheese Emporium or some shit? Where they
Wasn't it the cheese barn?
I don't remember, but the bathroom, I'll never forget walking with Emily to the bathroom and the smell coming out of there, you would not believe.
Somehow it was worse than inside the building.
It really was. It's like people ate a bunch of cheese and then bad things happened. So quickly, the motto of this town, where nature meets history. That's the motto
does
here.
it?
Oh, yeah. Apparently it does here. Population's about 12,105 people in this area here. Yeah. And it's like, it looks like people make decent money and it's cheap to live here also. So, yeah, if you don't mind living in the middle of nowhere, not bad. It is median household income here, $69,942. So about $70,000. Median home cost, $146,500.
Fantastic.
Which is like half the national average. It's not bad here. Shawnee, this area, originally was located in Salt Lick Township.
Yeesh.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't settled officially till 1854 because it's in the middle of nowhere. It was super remote. This place wasn't platted until 1872 when an investor chose a farm. He chose to buy some guy's farm and said, I'm going to make a town here.
Okay.
And then did it.
I don't want to go anywhere. I'll bring it all to me.
That's it. It was kind of a farming place, all sorts. And then they got into mining here. There was all sorts of mines. But by the 1930s, everything was dried up. And I'll read from a website here. Quote, leaving the hillsides scarred with thousands of mine openings and piles of useless coal. No one wanted the land, so the federal government began purchasing it and designating it as part of the Wayne National Forest, Ohio's only national forest.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were like, this is garbage land nobody wants. We'll just take it, so someone will take care of it. Otherwise, it's just going to be like this forever.
Piles of useless coal.
Just nobody wanted it. Yeah, it wasn't going well here. The last of the coal mines and brick factories closed their doors for good by 1972. And it became, less of an industrial area there. So here's some reviews of the town quickly. Here's 5 stars. Perfect, apparently.
Somebody loves it.
Shawnee is a great place to raise a family. The schools are excellent and is overall a safe place due to their own dedicated full-time police and fire department. Well, yeah, it's a town. It should have a... That's good.
What?
We have a fire department. Well, then, look at you.
Look at you, Boston.
Gee, all high and mighty. Wow. Look at that, hoity-toity. There is not a ton to do, but it's within driving distance to the larger cities. Do you consider 2 hours driving distance?
That's a long ride.
Yeah, that's not. You're not going to Columbus for dinner 2 hours and something away. That's not happening.
4-hour round trip for a steak.
I don't think so. Here's 4 stars. It's really boring here, but Ohio is really boring in general. All right, that's a good way to start. Right away, you have credibility with me because you're telling the truth. It has good schools and good neighborhoods, though. People are fairly pleasant. Fairly pleasant. Fairly. Okay. Now, here's 3 stars. Not many people are friendly or outgoing. Well, now, who do I believe?
Contradict everything?
The last person established credibility with the boring thing, though. So you know what? I think I'm going to buy that. Here we go. 3 stars. I don't hear much about crime in Shawnee Township. Wow, that's hard to say when you can't say it. 3 stars. Again, after I graduate from college, I will not return. All right,
I'm only here for this shit.
There you go. And finally, 3 stars. No 1 stars. Nobody hates it. Not much to do around here. However, the people who live in this area are very warm, welcoming people. Okay. All right, so it's friendly. There you go. Yeah. Things to do, not much, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's bleak.
There is the Blue Blaze Festival.
What is that?
Which is a trail run, hike / backpacking experience.
What the fuck's with the blue and the blaze?
I don't know what that is. I have no idea. You meet early in the morning, and there's a 10-mile hike starting at 8 a.m., which sounds awful on all regards.
8 a.m., 10 miles?
10 miles at 8
guys.
a.m.
We can't sleep in for this?
How about a 10K? Why don't we cut that down a bit?
When is this? What time of year?
October. This is happening right now, by the way. This is this weekend. Doing it. If you're listening early, if you're listening when it comes out normally, it happened last weekend. So there's food and beverages provided. It says runners and hikers prioritized. Well, yeah, let's not have them drop dead. It'd probably be good. Coffee provided by Dirty Girl Coffee.
Yeah.
Which sounds fun.
They're in bikinis or topless.
Something's going on there. Running, still hiking and jogging with a big backpack on.
Shit running down their leg.
From 12:30 to 1:15, there's music. It's a 45-minute set, which is short for a band. And it is live music from local talent Elliot Bowley. So get there early for that.
He's going to play 45 minutes?
Ellie's doing a quick 45 and he's out of there. That's all there is to it. Elliot, that's it. He's done. Yeah. So there's that. And then finally, you got to go to the 25th annual Shawnee Homecoming, which is some party. And they have music there. And the people that they're showing, they have the pictures of the people. Here, you got to roll your chair over. Fuck it. Check it out. Look at this thing. 2 of them.
These are adults.
2 of them are actually have guitars in their hand in the picture. The other one, this is just their picures from Facebook or something.
It is.
It's her picture. That's her profile picture. There he is. Clint Porter with his profile picture. Haley Keffer with her profile picture. And then Ray Bond, who actually has got a cowboy outfit on and looks like he's on a real stage. And then Jack Middleton, who looks like an old man who they just let him perform, so, it keeps him quiet for a while. He won't ask for a while.
He's a guitar lesson teacher in town.
Yeah, they're it's fine. He knows how to do, if you ask him to play Sweet Emotion, he'll do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even though it's mostly country, he can still.
It's mostly, yeah. If it's not that, it's Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, he'll do that. Either way, I think that said, let's talk about a murder.
Oh, let's go.
All right, let's talk about a couple of brothers again. It's funny, we've had a lot of brothers come up lately.
Tons of them.
Tons of brothers. This right here, let's talk about, these are older guys here. James Richard Beam, Ream, R-E-A-M, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
James Richard Ream, he's 55, goes by Rick.
Yeah.
James is also his dad's name. He's not a junior, but his first name is with his dad, so... Doesn't want to be his dad, apparently.
You also can't be Dick Ream. That sounds horrible.
I was just going to say, Dick Ream is a terrible name also. You don't want that. So what do you do exactly? Yeah. Jimmie Ream, Dick Ream. You're like, who do I do here? You're like, Rick Ream. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds like a musician almost.
If you say it fast enough, it sounds like Rick Cream.
Yeah. Plus, Rick Ream sounds like they could play at the Shawnee Homecoming. That's a pretty cool band name. Rick Ream is going to be here from 12:30 to 1:45 or 1:15. And then he and his brother live together in a house, just the 2 of them. His brother is Ronald Ream. Ronnie Reams.
Ronnie Reams and Rick Reams.
Oh, it's singular Ream, but
right. Okay,
it feels like you want to throw the S on there, doesn't it?
Really do.
It does. Ricky Reams, how's it going? Ricky Reams sounds like some sort of like a DJ. Ricky Reams, DJ Ricky Reams.
Wasn't there an athlete named Reams? Yes, there was.
Probably.
Is it Sid Reams?
That's Sid Bream, I think you're thinking.
Oh,
of
that's
Pirates.
what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's Bream. God
Fat, slow
damn it.
bastard.
I'm so bad at names.
So Ronald Ream, 62. He's 62 years old. They're brothers. They were born in Alabama. That's where they're from. Parents are James and Earlene. So there you go. It does sound like a couple of old school names.
Earlene
James,
sounds like a Bama name, yeah.
Earlene. That's right, Earlene. Now, they've been living together at a house at 1240 Fairgreen Avenue in Shawnee Township, which technically is Lima, I guess, because Lima kind of incorporates. Picture a big square. All of that is Lima, and then part of that is Shawnee Township, kind of within Lima. So it's got its own separate deals. Now, a little bit about Ron Ream. He's the older of the two. He's the 62-year-old. He owns this house. This is his house at 1240.
Freeloading ass Ronald.
No, Ron's the one who owns it.
Rick is the freeloader.
Rick is the one who's. We'll get into Rick, but Ron graduated in 1967 from Lima Senior High School. So apparently went to high school at least in this area. He received a post-secondary degree from Apollo Vocational Academy. I don't know, but in 67, you had to do some sort of secondary education to not go to Vietnam. So,
there you go.
I don't know.
Whatever it costs, I'm in.
That's what I mean. I'll go learn how to do anything. What is it? Refrigerator repair? Great. Sounds good. It's better than jungle fucking, dwelling. I'd rather do that.
And Apollo College is like a joke, right? Like ITT Tech?
Now, I don't know if this is the same place or not. I don't know if that's the same school.
Is it vocational? Is that what it is?
Apollo Vocational Academy. But this is 1968. That
sounds like a way to not get shot.
Right? Like, I'll go here, sure. What's the cheapest place I can go to and not be killed in Vietnam? Is that possible? How can I do that?
Apollo Vocational grad, I'm in.
I'd still like to have sex with all the college girls back here. How is that? A lot of their boyfriends went to Vietnam. Let's just say the ratio's looking good right now. I'd like to stick around.
If they're not single, the chances of them becoming single are very good.
That's what I mean. So if you're going to be crass about it, why not? That's how I think. Maybe that's how Ronnie's thinking. I don't know.
Who knows?
But either way, he worked at the Excello EX-CELL-O Excello Airfoil Textron.
Fuck is that?
That's the company he worked for. Excello Airfoil Textron. Which sounds like a Mad Lib for name a company that's got stuff and smokestacks and things and they make stuff and
airfoil.
Excello Airfoil Textron. That sounds so made up.
Sounds like something you wrap an airplane in.
Maybe that's what it is. Did you wrap it in the airfoil? No, Jesus Christ, it's going to fucking splatter everywhere in the microwave if you don't wrap it in the airfoil. What the hell?
It's some space age leftovers wrap airfoil.
That's what it is. Maybe that's all it is.
It's for the shit you take out of the air fryer. That's what you put it in so that it stays air fryer crisp.
Maybe they just make the non-stick stuff, which is magic. Non-stick tinfoil is magic.
It's amazing.
It's so.
How does that work?
When you can the pizza rolls just slide around in there, you're like, there's cheese.
I'm going to die from that.
There's cheese on this. It's burned cheese, and it's still not sticking to it.
How does that do?
I don't know what chemicals they're using, but goddamn it, I praise whatever they are.
The cheese falls off. This is nuts.
That's fine. I'll lose sight in one of my eyes when I'm 63 over it. I don't give a shit. Whatever they're using, it's worth it.
It sticks to my non-stick pan. How the fuck does this work?
This is amazing. This
is unbelievable.
I love it. So he worked for Airfoil Textron for more than 18 years.
Yeah.
And he was in the United Auto Workers Union. So how does airfoil have to do with auto workers?
There's got to be.
I thought this was planes, man. I'm real confused.
It's got to be a part they're making for cars, right?
It has to be something. Yeah. I don't know, man. He also was a international road service technician from the Minster Machine Company as well. So he was also that. And he since I guess he started working at that place, and there's been, I don't know if he's retired or what, but it seems like he bought this house in about 1986, and since then he hasn't worked for this company much, as we'll talk about here. He bought the house that we discussed before. He's got a couple of arrests in his past here, boy. Ronnie. Couple of things here. He's got a couple of domestic violence arrests.
Yeah, I mean, you work on car parts long enough, you're bound to get a little frustrated and bring that shit home.
You're bound to backhand somebody, I guess, but that's not good.
No.
So that right away is a red flag here. He's got one was dismissed. In the second case, he actually went all the way to trial and was found not guilty at trial.
Oh.
So who knows? We don't know. This was in like 1978, so we have no idea.
Who knows what that is?
Of what happened here.
Ex-wife, or is he beating the shit out of Ricky?
No. This is a partner here, a spouse, a wife or girlfriend or something. He was also arrested on an assault charge at one point for somebody else out there. And,
Ronnie's willing to throw hands no matter what.
Ronnie will throw hands, it seems like. He is going to show you his Textron at any point that you ask for it. I will wrap you in airfoil, motherfucker. Let's go.
I'll airfoil the fuck out of you.
So that case was also dismissed, though. So he's skirted a bunch of legal shit, luckily for him.
He's a Teflon Techron.
So these all happened like pre-year 2000, all of these arrests, though, okay? So as they get a little bit older, Ronnie seems to have calmed down. He doesn't get arrested past 50, which...
As you do.
Your desire to throw down wanes as you get older. You know what I mean? You're much less likely to be like... You start thinking about, if I fall down, I'm going to hurt something. Right. Like, this is
how hard can he hit? How strong are my bones?
Yeah, you don't think about all that stuff. And you start thinking about, oh, Jesus, can I afford this? Can I afford jail if I win?
How long are these bruises going to take to heal?
Well, best case scenario, I win and now I need a lawyer. Great. Like you get older, you start thinking about things pragmatically like that, and you're like, well, that's not worth it. Never mind. You walk away.
The retainer fee alone is not worth who the fuck is right over who spilled whose beer.
Yeah, who cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
It'll dry on my boot. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking the old Chris Rock thing about you're going to go to prison because someone stepped on your Puma. Right. It's just stupid. When you get older, you don't care anymore. Yeah. So now they live together. We'll cut forward to October 17th, 2011. And this is when, Rick is 55, Ron's 62. They live together in this house. This is all going on here. Ron recently retired, I guess, a couple years earlier, completely retired. And before his retirement, he had a bunch of health problems, which kind of prompted his retirement. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Oh, no.
And had to have surgery to remove the cancer. And it worked. And so he wasn't...
Great.
Yeah, he was cancer-free at this point.
Found it early.
Yeah, they got it, apparently. So I guess he had the surgery, and he recovered pretty well from it, to the point where, like, the next-door neighbor... By the way, the next-door neighbor's name is amazing. He's like if there was like an underground hardcore porn scene in like the early 60s, this guy would be the king of it with this name.
Yeah.
Rex Whetstone.
Stop it.
I swear to God, Rex Whetstone. That's the man's name.
What? Like sharpening or W-E-T?
W-H-E-T Stone.
Yeah.
Rex
That's
Whetstone.
A man.
Holy crap. He walks down the street and panties just hit him in the head. He doesn't even know why. He's like, where'd that come from? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Ooh, Rexy Whetstone.
That's awesome.
That is awesome shit. Now, Rexy Whetstone here would go golfing with Ron all the time.
Okay.
They were golf partners here for a bunch. So now, apparently, it's been about a few years now since Rick has moved in with Ron.
Okay.
So lived there. He's been there a little while. I guess part of it was health problems at first. So Rick said he'd come help out with, taking care of the house and stuff. And I'll post on social media a picture of the house. It's got a big lawn and stuff like that.
Oh,
so you'd need somebody to tend to the outdoor.
You can't sit down when you've got prostate cancer. You can't be sitting like that for long periods of time on
big
a
vibrating.
Mower.
Yeah, that's not going to be good for you. You might as well get a motorcycle. That's
all the stitches.
Get a chopper. Why don't you?
Frame chopper.
Yeah, real low to the ground.
No suspension.
No, yeah,
Real
yeah.
low to the ground. Feel every pebble.
One
in
of
that
those, like my
motherfucker.
dad's fucking
Yeah.
nitrate. One of those. You're like, hey,
Feel
that's
every
fun to ride.
fucking pebble.
Yeah, that looks like you're gonna have a sore asshole.
Yeah.
So now, apparently, I guess their relationship it's okay. The brothers. I mean, they're kind of both old cantankerous guys.
Sure.
Imagine you can't have two guys that are 55 and 62 living together. They're just.
And
just doesn't
they've
work.
known each other their whole fucking lives.
Yeah. Well, think about the Golden Girls. Like you can get older women together, and they'll figure out a way to make a society out of it, and everybody will be fine. And Rose will be talking to Blanche, and everything's fine. Old men together. There's not a lot of sitcoms of those because the only thing we have is grumpy old men, and they fight each other. That's what happens. And they didn't even live in the same house.
Didn't. They were neighbors, and they were still fishing each other.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know what I mean? That's what happens. Old men get very set in their ways and grumpy, and it's very weird.
And then they hold a fucking grudge.
Oh, forever. Yeah.
Forever.
They're still mad. Yeah, he's still mad at Johnson for Vietnam escalation, I think. So either way, I guess he'd go golfing once or twice a week. I guess while Rick was living there, Rick would mow the yard occasionally and do some landscaping occasionally.
Sure, yeah.
You know, he would do some chores, but he really didn't do all that much.
Right.
Rex Whetstone says that Rick didn't really contribute to the household that much and didn't contribute to expenses at all, and rarely was able to keep a job. Said Rick was always in and out of work, couldn't keep a job, couldn't keep money. I guess Ron had two cars, and he let Rick drive one of them. Like he just let Rick have one of them, basically, since they both lived there. And I guess he would financially support his brother, which
Tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have anything.
That's
Most of what Rick spent money on was lottery tickets.
You dick.
He loves the scratchers, boy. He's a scratching fool.
You don't get scratchies with somebody else's money.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
That's how you're going to get back on your feet, Jimmy. See, you're not seeing it. You're not seeing the whole picture.
I'll pay him back.
He's got to get back on his feet. How's he going to do that? More scratchies. See?
Right.
That's how it works. It's how you get it. It's all going to come around. I'm going to win that jackpot. So, now, Rex did say, though, Whetstone did say that in the 6 years of knowing the two brothers, they never had a physical confrontation or any kind of large scale. There was never screaming at each other or anything like that. It was just kind of, fucking brother's a lazy bastard type of shit.
Yeah.
That's all. So I guess Ron had some pain and after his surgery for prostate cancer. He had some things where he couldn't do around the house and all of that. And so that's when Rick tried to, started doing lawn work and shit like that, tried to step up. But they did have a troubled relationship, according to Ron's daughter, mainly because Ron was financially supporting Rick and didn't like that he spent all the money on scratcher tickets and thought that was stupid.
What the fuck, man?
That he would literally every night go to the BP station, the gas station, and buy a shitload of scratchers. And that was like his, throwing money down the toilet.
I get it. Ron murdered Rick for this bullshit because he didn't get 3 fucking Santa Claus mittens in winter. I'd murder him too. It's my
He's
fucking
so angry.
money. You
What are
don't
you
have
doing?
any.
Scratchers are fine if you have a few extra. No, they're not. But if you have a few extra bucks and you're like, I don't know, I'm bored. I could throw this in the garbage and not really care.
Right.
Maybe I'll scratch a thing for a while. Some of the bigger ones where you got to scratch a whole bunch and it's like, whatever, fine. But if that is your plan as an income,
5-year plan,
that's not good. I'm gonna learn the whole secret of the scratchies, and then I'm gonna be living large.
Yeah,
and
but
do
the
TED
dollar
Talks.
ones, you only win like $5,000. If you pay $50, you can win up to $1 million. Right? You're not gonna win. Stop.
Especially you dipshit. Not you, Rick.
Knock it off.
That's the thing here. So. That's your prediction? You think Ron's going to murder Rick over his stupid scratchy habits?
I would, I think.
That would make the most sense. Well, let's see what happens.
I would certainly understand. Oh, my God.
The week of October 11th here, during this week, I guess Ron had given Rick a $500 loan also. Loans him $500, all right, which is that's a lot of money for.
Fuck yeah.
If he's going to spend on scratchers. What do you need it for? You live here. What do you need? You need $500 for. So now Ron's daughter also says that Rick didn't really do a whole lot of the landscaping, and it was mainly her and her brother who would come over and do most of that shit and help out their dad and stuff like that. So, he did some chores, but it wasn't all the time, basically. Rex also said that Ron, he doesn't do scratchers, but one thing he likes on a daily basis is his weed and his beer. So
Ron's a party, man.
Ron likes to golf and drink fucking beer, and I could picture him out on like the 8th fucking fairway just smoking a joint in the golf cart as he cruises
he
along.
He rolled in the cart.
Yeah, you know it. Absolutely. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I had cancer. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. So
I hope he did. I hope he rolled it right there on the fucking course.
So do I, man. I'm telling you. So either way, that's a fact, though. Ron definitely likes his beer and his weed, and on a daily basis, he's doing that. So now, during all of this, October the 17th, we'll cut to here, 9:20 p.m. on October the 17th. Ashley Magram, she is the next door neighbor. Ashley. I guess she lives on the other side. I think old sexy Rexy lives on the other side. So
they live between Rex and Magram?
That's right. So I guess around 9:20, she was outside her house smoking a cigarette, and she heard loud multiple bangs, big loud bangs. And she said that they weren't in sequence. They were kind of in groups, like a couple here and a couple there.
Oh, Jesus.
She said she heard at least 5 bangs. She wasn't sure of the exact amount of number. Whenever anybody hears bangs, they never know exactly how many there is for some reason.
Right.
Our brains can't count sounds.
No.
It just doesn't work. We have to see things to count them.
Right. I think it may be because we're not in the mindset to be counted. You know what I mean? You don't hear one and go, all right, time to start counting.
Well, that's the thing. If someone said, how many bangs do you hear, and go, you'd go, oh, okay, it was fucking 5. But if you're just sitting there smoking a cigarette and you're like, bang, bang. What was that in the woods? No, that's next door. What is that? How many did I fucking hear? You don't even know.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Good call. So
1 or 3.
She hears all of this. She thought that somebody was working on their house around there, and that's all it was. It was like a nail gun or a hammer or some shit like that. She's like, someone must be working on the house. It's only 9:20. Someone's doing something. So she said it all happened very quickly. She heard the first sound. From the first sound to the last sound, the interval was about 2 minutes altogether in between.
Okay. Yeah.
So this was not all grouped together. She heard a couple, then heard like one, a couple more a minute later, and then heard another one after that. So
Weird.
A little while later. Yeah. That's why she didn't think it was anything but like someone working on the house. That's what it would seem like. If you hear like bang, 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 you'd be like, holy shit, someone lighting somebody up. So she said that about 60 to 90 seconds elapsed from hearing the first group of shots to the second group of shots.
Okay.
And then she said she didn't know whether they were gunshots or, like I said, hammer, doesn't have any idea.
Yeah.
Now, Rex Whetstone on the other side, in between he's exhausted from all these sessions of lovemaking with all these beautiful, beautiful ladies, obviously.
And when he's not doing it, he's just filming it.
Yeah. He stepped out of his bedroom this night at about 10 p.m. just glistening with the
Dussy.
the afterglow. So he comes out. He shows up at about 10 o'clock that night because he was having problems in his relationship.
Oh,
I assume because there was a line of 12 women outside his bedroom, and his wife said, listen, Rex, this has to stop. I'm sorry. This is crazy. You can't be doing this.
Yeah,
so
she took his pants off, and it smelled like someone's already been here.
Multiple people.
Yeah.
Rex. Jesus. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, Believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So Rex shows up at Ron's house at about 10 p.m. because wants to crash there that night to let things cool off at home. Which,
Crazy over there.
Yeah, Port in the Storm is Ron's house, apparently. So whether it's your scratchy addiction or your wife's a pain in the ass, either way, here you go. So he noticed that all the lights were off and the only light coming from the house was the TV. So he saw the TV, and he also saw that Ron's car was the only one in the driveway. The one that Rick usually drives wasn't there. So he's like, no, that's weird. Everybody's usually home at 10 o'clock, but that's fine. As he approached the door, he saw Ron lying on the floor with a blanket on top of him, which, the TV's on, and he's laying down, whatever.
Sometimes you want to harken back to a cuddle puddle when you were a kid. And
that's the thing. Sometimes
laying on the floor.
Laying on the floor is great sometimes.
Watch
it really
some ET.
is. Oh, man, it's fun stuff. Sometimes the floor is just the best place for you. So either way, he says, all right, that's nice. He knocks on the door. It's like, sorry, I got to wake him up, but, whatever. So he knocks on the door. Ron doesn't wake up from the knock, but he said that's not unusual because Ron's fucking almost deaf. He's hard of hearing as shit. So,
guy smokes weed and drinks beer all day. He's sleepy.
That's the other thing. Sleepy and deaf is a hard person to wake up from a knock. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of touching and shaking involved.
Yeah, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. So he doesn't wake up. So he goes, okay, Christ. So he calls Ron's cell phone. And no answer. He's like, okay, shit. So he calls Rick's cell phone to see, are you coming home soon? Maybe you can let me in, whatever. Yeah. And Rick doesn't answer either. So he's like, God damn it. I can't get a hold of people. He's out. This one's asleep on the floor. I can see him, for Christ's sake. It's got to be irritating. So he went around the back of the house, hoping the back door was unlocked, and it wasn't. So he's like, God damn it. So he tries knocking louder. Sitting there.
You guys are going to make me go back to this bitch.
Fuck. Well, he does about 10:30. He stays till about 10:30. So he sits outside the house with his fucking blanket and his bindle for about... I just picture him with his blanket with a pillow sitting on top of it, just like for a half hour, every once in a while, knocking on the door.
Can of Viennas.
Yep, just here I am, just his Dinty Moore tucked into it all. In his bindle roll. So
jelly in between the winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Jesus, what is this fucking petroleum jelly? What's happening?
What is that shit? I don't know what it is.
I assume just congealed fat. That's
I guess. Maybe you're right.
Suppose. Lard, maybe. I don't know. It looks gross, though.
It's gross, yeah.
So either way, about 10:30, he says, well, fuck it. I guess I'll leave. Like, I'm not going to sit on the porch any longer. It's getting chilly out. I'm going to go. Right. So he leaves. Now, where the hell is Rick at this point? Well, enter Megan Mays. She's a BP gas station employee.
Okay.
And she says that Rick came in all the time to buy lottery tickets. And she said that Rick came into the gas station this night. She said she left work about 10:10 p.m. and he was coming into the station as she was leaving. Okay. So Rex must have just missed Rick at the house. Must have just missed him pulling away. So she said it was weird because he's in later than he usually is what she said. So the next day comes along. Rex goes home. The next day comes along, and about noon, Deputy Jerry Kress of the Allen County Sheriff's Department or office he's hanging out doing something. He's putting some shit in his police car. He's in a parking lot, just
loading up,
moving some stuff from here to the trunk and getting ready to go out and do his thing. And here comes Rick Ream, walks up to him, and he says, "Are you on duty right now?" He's not a taxi driver. He's in uniform with a car, so he's probably
picking up fares.
Yeah, no, don't tell me about crimes. I'm off right now. So he says, "Are you on duty?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm on duty." And he said, "Okay." He said, "Do you have jurisdiction in Shawnee Township?"
Oh boy!
And the guy said, "Sure, yeah, I got cover that. I got it."
If I don't, I know who does.
I can call somebody. Really, we're on this. You come to the right place. Yeah. So Rick says, "Oh, you do? Okay, good. Arrest me, please." And so he says, "Why?" He goes, "Just arrest me." And he goes, "Why?" And he goes, "I just want you to arrest me." And he goes, "Well, it doesn't really work like that. You kind of have to.
You're going to need the charges.
Can't really bring you in and be like, I've got this guy. What was he doing? He was asking to be arrested." Well, that's not enough to really hold him. You have to actually commit a crime. So he said, "Well, why do you need to be arrested?" And he said, "Well, I got myself," this is a quote, "gotten myself into a situation that I can't get out of, and I shot my brother."
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So he said, the deputy said his demeanor was calm but upset, which is the strangest way I've ever heard of anything being described. Those don't go together.
He was hairy but bald. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but but super hairy. No, on his head, hairy and bald. So he said that he took him down to the police department where he met with his supervisor and was like, "We don't know if this guy's a crackpot or what. I mean, who the fuck knows? People say crazy shit all the time to the cops. They don't know if it's true or not, or if this guy's took too much, cold medication. We have no idea.
Who knows? Yeah.
He might be on it, coming down from Ambien or something. We have no idea." So he takes him there. They speak with the Shawnee Township Police Department. And they said Rick was very cooperative throughout the booking, whole walking through the booking process and everything of just through the area. He said that they kept a close eye on him the whole time he's in the police station because they were unsure of his mental health. They didn't know, is he a crazy person who didn't shoot anybody? Is he a crazy person who did shoot somebody and now might be a danger to himself? Or might attack one of us or something.
Or is he so sane he murdered somebody and now it's fucking crazy inside his head?
Yeah. Or is he just chill and now he wants Doritos? We have no idea. Who knows here? Maybe get him some scratchies. He'll calm down. So they give him, Rick says, "Go to 1240 Fairgreen and I give you permission. I live there. Go in there. You can go in." He said the keys are in the door. So he said, go over there.
Whetstone missed those.
No. He was back. He came back after the scratchies and spent the night there, as we'll talk about here. He said there's a set of keys in the front lock. Go do that. So they told the Shawnee Township Police Department, and everybody was going to go do a well-being check on the brother. I'm sure this guy's nuts. Let's just make sure.
My God.
They arrive there, and they find that in the living room, they find nobody. And then they go down to the bedroom where they find Ron in there. Oh, no. And, Ron's not looking good. He's all shot up. There's blood spatters all over the living room. And there's also smear patterns on the floor of a body being dragged. Just a bloody smear pattern from the living room to the bedroom. So they find Ron face down with a multicolored blanket over him and a kitchen knife on top of the blanket. Huh. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay. So they found him with a cloth material tied around his wrist and then a rope tied around the cloth material around his wrist and with a rope dangling off of it.
Yeah.
All right. So they're like, okay. They collect 5 shell casings from inside the house. The coroner gets there. First thing they notice when they roll him over is he has a bullet hole in his chest, and underneath him is a remote control that has been dragged with him from the living room.
That's what
it was. It was like under his body. Yeah, there's the remote. God, you can never find the remote. Under my dead brother, I never... Shit. Damn it.
It's always under the corpse.
Always under the corpse. Everybody check, make sure. I know in the couch cushions, under the corpse is important. So, so they say there is 7 gunshot wounds here, but they collect 5 casings, okay, but has 7 wounds now. The first wound was to the left side of the neck of Ron here. There was a downward trajectory for this wound.
Okay.
So this is not even.
Surprise. Somebody's sitting down. Yeah.
Somebody's sitting down. Either way, someone's above somebody else.
Right.
There's downward trajectory there. So second gunshot was to the left side of Ron's chest. Third gunshot was to, quote, Ron's left flank. Would that be like a back area? Kind of a quarter panel? Your back lower quarter panel.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's usually the flank, right? To your side.
I guess. I don't work at Airfoil Textron, so I don't know all the technical sides of shit.
Yeah, I haven't been a butcher yet.
Not sure. The fourth gunshot wound was to Ron's upper right arm. The fourth gunshot wound was consistent with Ron being on the ground and the shooter standing above the body, firing straight down into it. So
into the body or the head? Into
the body. That's Jesus. The fourth, because it's the fourth one is in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 3 were downward trajectory and that area, and then that seems like that's the first group of gunshots.
Yep.
And the second group is when he's on the ground
and not dead.
Yeah.
And you want to put your brother out of his misery. Jesus Christ.
Fifth gunshot wound was also to the left flank, so buried another one in him, again, standing over type of wound. Sixth gunshot entered Ron's back, and this gunshot was made while, again, the shooter was higher than the victim, and then the seventh gunshot grazed his neck. Didn't enter him,
missed him.
Yeah. Grazed his neck there, yeah. So they out of the 7, they say only 6 were perforating wounds. Of the 6 perforating wounds, 4 bullets went through and through. We'll find out this is a .45. So
Jesus,
it's a fucking hand cannon, man. That's a lot of gun.
Moves, yeah.
That's a lot of gun, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense too. Why the next door neighbor might have mistook them for some other kind of boom.
Sure.
Because a .45 has a very deep
It's not a
boom.
pop.
It's a big register. It doesn't sound like whenever it's like a small caliber 25 or something, you'll always hear, I thought it was firecrackers. People always say that you never will hear that about a .45.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It does not sound like a firecracker.
It is nasty.
It's a loud one. So 4 of the bullets went through and through. 2 of the bullets were recovered from the body, and they said none of them were from a result of close range firing. The shooter would have to be at a minimum 1.5 to 2 feet away to make these wounds. That's still pretty close, but none of them were like contact wounds.
That's not a sharpshooter by any
No.
stretch.
This is not
close as fuck.
It's not a sniper that did this.
No.
It might have been someone across the street. This is
across the room. Jesus
this is certainly
Christ.
from close up, but no contact wounds here. Obviously, cause of death is multiple gunshot wounds. Kind of duh. Now, Ron, in his body, he only had, as far as like mind-altering type of drugs, all he had was a therapeutic level of cold medicine. So not even, too much. He didn't even take too much Robitussin. So
poor guy.
Yeah. So now, meanwhile, all this is going on. Rick is at the station, and they're ready to talk to Rick here. They got him in the holding area, and while he's in the holding area here, they ask him. Someone asks him how he killed his brother. They're like, "You really kill your brother?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "I shot him." And they said, "Well, why'd you do that?" And he said that Rick says, "I've had a good number of jobs and I've lost them because I've been taking care of Ron because he has cancer." So he blamed his lifelong shoddy work schedule on his brother being sick the last couple of years.
Right.
You know.
When did he get cancer? You're how old? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. I've been doing
30
great.
years to prep for this.
I would have been doing so well if it wasn't for this. I finally was taking it in there. And then
35 years of fucking up for this.
That's it. He said, quote, "I just can't take it anymore. Couldn't take it. Had to shoot him." So Detective Baker reads him his rights. He signs his rights form at 12:52 p.m., agrees to talk to Detective Baker, and has some weird conversations with him. He criticizes Ron the whole time, just talks mad shit about him the whole time. Terrible guy, Ron was. He calls him a lazy ex-con, which we know his arrest record, and he never was convicted of anything. So, I mean...
And he retired and
he's
enjoying
lazy.
himself.
Yeah. He's retired, and he plays golf, and he had cancer. You lazy, cancer-ridden bastard. He also called him Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Okay.
And said he is, quote, gross. So...
I do enjoy that description.
Gross. Lazy ex-con, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and did I mention he's gross? So
he's human being, probably pretty gross.
Super gross. He said that Ron has a violent temper and is always picking fights with him as well. He said that they had an argument that night, and Ron decided to kick Rick out of the house. That's what happened that night. And so Rick said, fine, I'm out of here. I don't need this shit anyway. It was a very teenage argument here because you're gross. You're gross. I'm leaving.
I'm taking the peanut butter and loaf of Wonder Bread. I'm on my own.
That's it. I can live in the woods for a week with this. So he said he got a pile of clothes and his gun case. He had a gun in a case. So he had a pile of clothes with the gun case sitting on top of him, and that's all he was doing. He said he was carrying those out of the house, leaving. He's done, right? Going to get in Ron's car and leave. He has no... So he says at this point, out of nowhere, Ron lunged at him with an 8-inch butcher knife.
Okay.
Just came after him with a butcher knife, even though he was walking out the door, the guy doing what he wanted.
He told him to leave, problem solved, and now he's going to create more problems?
He said as Ron is lunging at him with a butcher knife, Ron must be very slow, or there's some slow motion matrix shit happening.
He's got cancer, James. They
That's
slow
true.
down a little bit.
He's lost a step. So as he's, quote, lunging at him slowly with a butcher knife, he pulls this gun out of the case, cocks it, and shoots Ron.
My God.
That's pretty impressive, I got to say. That is quick on the draw.
In the
Wyatt
West,
Earp. He's Wyatt Earp over here. Yeah, this is crazy, man. So, he said that's what happened. He said, that's what I did. I shot him.
Yeah.
He said that on several occasions I feared for my life, and this occasion I thought he was going to stab me. Yeah. He said he doesn't remember all the details because he blanked out, though. So... obviously can't remember
as
much.
You do when
as one has want to do when they're shooting their own
brother. It's a really
brother.
fast situation. It's hard to remember every little bit that happens.
I mean, who can remember all the details of murdering your brother? I mean, ask Kane if he knows what, he doesn't know.
It was so fast.
It's so fast it happens. So he said that doesn't know a bunch. So they said, but you cleaned up the floor because they found there's a fire pit thing, and they found in the fire pit shell casings, burned up shell casings, and a burned up mop.
He thought that was going to do it?
Apparently so. He mopped up shit in the house. He tried to clean up the house here for some reason. I don't know why he tried to do that. So you tried to do that. All of this isn't adding up. Why wouldn't you just go, oh my God, he tried to shoot me, call 911?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, this is a good example of why you can't hold a job. He started the job and was like, I'm overwhelmed.
This is hard. This is hard.
They don't pay me enough for this.
He looked around and went, gross. And then he just left.
Also, you can't call your brother gross when you made him that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Plus, he's got gross cancer. So what an asshole. So he said Ron started to make gurgling noises after he shot him.
That's called a death rattle. Yeah.
So he said that's when he drug Ron over to the bedroom down there because he just, he said he couldn't drag him, so that's why he tied a rope to him so he could drag him by the rope.
I was going to ask. Oh, God, that's horrific.
Yeah, he drug him by a rope around his wrist while he was still alive.
And didn't want to hurt him, so he wrapped a fucking towel around it first.
Yeah, well, no, I guess he was trying to do it just with that, and then he was like, no, I need a rope. Okay, so he did that. Plus, he didn't want to make it look like ligatures either, like he tied him up or something. Yeah. But he left the rope on him. Rick also said that he went to McDonald's around 5 or 6 a.m. Got to get that. And nothing says Egg McMuffin like a dead brother. You know what I mean?
You got to get the first ones. Around 8 a.m., they start to get real lazy with the breakfast.
That's what it is, yeah, because he should work there. He said he contacted his son and his daughter that morning to give away some of his stuff, to say, you can have this stuff and this stuff. They're like, okay, whatever. They said, why didn't you call 911 immediately? And he said, well, I was in shock. I shot him, and he said, I assumed the neighbors would have called 911 with all those gunshots, so I just figured eventually someone will come.
Yeah.
But that's not true because he shot him, and then he went and bought scratcher tickets, and then he came home, and he dragged him in another room, then he hung out all night, then he went to McDonald's, had a sausage egg McMuffin, and then he fucking started mopping and trying to burn evidence. So none of this shit.
Woke up around noon.
Yeah, and then went, well, let me go turn myself in here.
Yeah.
He says also that I suffer from mental problems, and I've been admitted to psychiatric hospitals twice before as well. So, thing he doesn't mention in this interrogation is going to the gas station getting scratcher tickets. He leaves that part conveniently out.
Probably because he lost.
Yeah. So 2 days later, they're going to interview him again, and they read him his rights, and he says that they say there's an interesting exchange about the counsel and whether he would do that. So he never directly asked for counsel, but there's all sorts of weird things. He says, this is what Baker says, this is the first interview. He says, first thing I want to do, though, you're not arrested at this moment, okay? Not technically in custody. I'm going to read you your rights. These items here, 1 through 5, are Miranda rights, and I'm going to read them out loud for you. You can follow along with this paper, and they do all of that shit. So now, as they're doing that, Ream agrees to that. He said, yeah, that's fine. I can talk about this. And Ream says, yeah, I'm just going to give you the basics because I can't even piece it all together. So he tells him about what we just talked about. About 26 minutes into the interview, he says this. Ream says, quote, I'll make you a deal.
No. Okay.
You don't have a lot to bargain with here, Chief. It's happened in your house with your gun. It's really not a lot to bargain
We're usually the ones that make the deals, but go ahead.
We don't need this part, really. This is just dunking on a team we're up by 20 on at this point. Like, it's not. We don't need this for a conviction.
Technically, this is running up the scoreboard, and it's frowned upon, but go on.
You know what? I'm going to kick the field goal. Fuck it. Go ahead.
Close to the record. Go.
I will make you a deal. Give me some time to recount what happened. Get a public defender here with me so he can tell me what I'm allowed to tell you because it's your job to provide the prosecutor with information, and I can't give you information right now. My mind's spinning right now. So please, I provided you with the basics right now. Let me rethink what actually happened. Right now, I'm running a fever. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more scratcher tickets. He's fucking, what the fuck?
That's so good.
He said, right now I'm running a fever. Thank you for the cigarettes. Some of this shit ain't right. I flipped out on him. I sat there for hours not realizing.
Okay.
He said, not realizing you shot your brother? And he said, yeah, it didn't seem real. So unrealistic, the whole thing.
Stop asking questions. He just mentioned lawyer. Let him go. Let's get the lawyer.
Well, he has to say, I want a lawyer. He said, give me some time. What his exact words?
He said, give me a public defender. That's a lawyer.
Yeah, but he didn't say, I'd like a lawyer. He said, whereas the exact words are he said, get a public defender here with me so he can tell me what I'm allowed to tell you because it's your job to. So he doesn't say, I want to stop talking, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's not he's saying, I'll get one to confer while we're down here, which happens all the time. They go, well, you can get a guy down here, but then the questioning is going to be over. And then he goes, I want to talk.
This feels muddy and gray.
That's the problem here. So he said, listen, he came at me with a butcher knife. It got an 8-inch blade, for Christ's sake. So then he tries to say his brother's an unstable guy who smokes weed all the time and spent time in prison. He's got a temper. He said, I saw him with that big ass knife. Then he came out of the chair. Then pop, 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 pop. That's what he says. I just started shooting. He said that he had a loaded handgun inside the box, which was covered by clothing. He said he just reacted and shot his brother. I must be like a spy or like a trained assassin or something. I didn't even know it.
I'm fucking Neo. This is amazing.
I went into action. I was like, Reggie Jackson killing the Queen.
Slowed down. I did backflips and bounced off walls and shit.
Your Honor, he activated me. I had no choice. He said that, there was an argument. He said he's walking out. His brother sprung up from the chair. What the fuck? He said, how I got a hold of the handle of the gun that quick and cocked it, I don't know. That's a real good
we don't
question.
either. We also have, Yeah.
He said that he fired 4 or 5 times, which it's very common for people to not know how many times they fired.
But that's a lot.
There's a ton of times, like you'll ask a cop, and it's not even like a bad shooting. It's a shooting where everybody was shooting, and they'll say, how many rounds you let off? And they'll go, 2, and they emptied their gun. It's like
Mag's
they don't even
empty.
know.
I fired twice.
They have no idea. So it's a very difficult thing once all that. It's like a car accident. You don't remember exactly what happens. Mm-hmm. So then his story changed, and he said, I shot my brother as he rose out of the chair with a knife. Before that, he got out of the chair, got the knife, and lunged at him. Now he's got the knife in the chair already, and he did that. And he said that he took 2 steps with the knife, and then he shot his brother after that. Then he said he couldn't remember what happened. And he said, I'm trying to piece together reality versus what is not. So they're like, okay, that's fair. Let's start with something easy. Why'd you burn the mop you used to clean the blood up with? Why'd you burn the fucking shell casings and all that? He says, you know what that looks like? Looks like you're trying to cover up a crime scene.
Right.
And he said, oh, no, God, no, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, quote, I swept everything up, and I'll be honest, I was not trying to get rid of the evidence. I know what it looks like, but it wasn't bad. He said that he listened to his brother gasping and making noises for several hours before he finally died.
Oh, my God.
Several hours. Yeah. That
Jesus.
is fucking
he put them
disturbing.
all in the body, and he's just leaking, man. You don't just disappear when you shoot somebody.
That's what it is. Well, he said, I told him, quote, I said, sorry, bro, I love you. And I drug him in the other room and shot him more.
Oh, God.
Then he said, they go, but you mopped up the blood, so you were trying to hide it. And he said, no, I wasn't. And then he said, quote, if you guys show up, I didn't want you walking in there and dragging all that all over the house.
Oh, okay.
He didn't want people tracking blood around the house. What? You're worried about the mopping situation? Like, guess what? They don't generally. They mop anywhere there's blood. That's going to be like roped off. Probably.
We
They're
need
not
pictures
gonna,
of that, right?
They're not just tracking it around like it's dog shit. It's crime scene blood.
Listen, James, he's got a fever.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to give them a nice clean path to get there. That's true. He's not thinking clearly. So,
Warren here.
My God, whenever they would push him on inconsistencies, he would quickly change the subject and all this type of shit. He said, he came at me with a knife. That's the mitigating circumstance right there. That's what he said.
Whoa.
He's already in the sentencing phase of his fucking trial. So, he said that, wow. He said, let me ask you this question. This is what he says in the second interview. Baker, this is the detective. I don't want to get into it without being legal. It's for your protection. Oh, he goes over the rights form again with him. Yeah. He says, okay. He says, Reem says, I'm going to help you piece it together and what led up to all this. That's all I can do, and I know I'm in the clear. Oh, yeah, you're in the clear. You're good.
Fresh and clean.
Yeah, that's fine. So then he says, well, I can say things up to the incident, but I'm still trying to figure out how the incident started, to be honest with you. And he says, I'll go ahead and sign these papers for you, and we'll start a couple weeks ago, and I'll tell you what led up to this whole thing. He goes, but I'm not going to answer anything that I don't know what to tell you. So he goes, anything I don't remember, I'm not going to make it up for you. But other than that, he says, you know what? I can't remember a lot of what happened, what actually took place right here, because my mind was going about 15 different directions before that happened, trying to remember what I couldn't take and what I needed to do before. And out of the blue, he got really mean. I mean, he was just almost like the devil came over him or something, That's what I remember.
He was kicking you out, man.
Yeah. And then he said, then they talk about, are you going to, so you're waiving your rights? And he goes, I don't know. I don't trust me. Well, we don't either.
You either, dog.
Yeah. And he says, also, I'm all blanked out. I don't know what I'm doing right now. And they went, okay, well, you know what? You don't really need to, we don't care if you're blanked out. Just try. And he goes, look, I know you're a good guy, okay? This is what Reem tells him. This is Rick. I know your position is here. I want to fill the gaps. I want to clarify that right here and now, but I can't remember exactly what happened other than him lunging. So, yeah, that's fucking funny. He says, the only reason I said that about legal counsel is because I think having a mediator here, okay, will help out a little bit. That's what I'm saying. So the cop says, I'm not pressuring you or anything. And he says, no, you're not. He says, no, please don't put that on yourself. They're having like a polite off back and forth. And he says, I'm not trying to make you talk about anything you don't want to talk about. And he goes, totally, I totally feel comfortable. You're not pressuring me at all. Like, it's funny. So anyway, they get the shell casings and everything like that. They find the gun. It matches the ballistics. All that works out. Fiber analysis they also have as well. There's fiber shit. There is, I guess, because their bullets went through and through. So there's pieces of fiber on the bullets that you can pull and match it to Ron's shirt and all that kind of thing. So they do that. At trial, Rick tries to introduce a psychiatrist report here that says that he couldn't act in a rational manner, Rick, at all. He said his actions in the many hours after the alleged offense, including leaving to get gas, money, and breakfast, doesn't mention scratchers in there,
Right.
are inconsistent with an individual trying to elude capture and or punishment. His mindset was that of an individual who was overwhelmed by the event and stricken with grief, shame, and fear. His actions on the following morning, including giving possessions to family members approaching police, are again consistent with a person who feels he is facing punishment for the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of obvious shit you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Tell me why that means he's not responsible again here. And he says, in delving into his background, he suffered from mental illness for much of his adult life. He's been hospitalized on 2 occasions for suicidal ideation and depression and battled substance abuse. He also has a history of poor judgment and decision-making, such as living at a homeless shelter despite having the means to support himself.
Whoa, that's wild.
That's fucking wild. This guy is weird, man. Between that and the scratchers, he's a strange guy. He just can't get out of his own way. His relationship with his brother was both close and tortured, wherein he idolized his brother, but was also bullied by him. 6-7 years of age difference. Yeah. That is why he reacted in such an illogical manner after the alleged offense. He simply could not believe his actions, the outcome, or the fact that he was no longer able to be with his brother. Rather than fleeing, he was unable to see any other action other than to deal with the realities as they presented themselves. The doctor says he's suffering from a condition known as acute stress disorder.
What?
So if you kill someone, you can go, I'm super stressed out by this whole procedure. And they go, oh, well, we should let you go because you're this stressed you out.
ASD.
Yeah, it's got letters. It's got to be real. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. But also you killed somebody, so that really doesn't fucking matter at this point. So either way, that doesn't do very much. Now, they don't want a picture. The Rick's team doesn't want a picture brought into the trial, saying that the picture is, quote, very bloody and is not needed.
I'm sure it's ugly.
During the trial, a juror is actually replaced one day while the pictures are being shown. She was sent home after fainting during the testimony from the medical examiner while they were showing graphic pictures of the autopsy.
I bet.
She actually went out in her chair and thump on the ground, and they had to fucking pull her out and go, juror number 11 or fucking 14, get in here. So anyway, at the trial, their only defense is he had acute stress disorder.
ASD, you guys.
So he is ASV at this point, acute stress guilt verdict at this point, and he's guilty as fuck. ASG, acute stress guiltiness. So
GAF.
GAF. During the sentencing, judge says, you got anything to say for yourself? And he says, rather than I feel terrible because I shot my brother and I love my brother and I don't know what happened and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Which might have been good for him. He says, instead, I'm innocent and I plan to appeal this decision.
Well, we'll get to that later.
And the judge says, you, sir, may fuck off 15 years to life in prison for murder and 2 3-year prison sentences for firearm specifications, all to run consecutively.
Oh.
Well, those 2 are together, and then it's with the 15 years. Okay. So 18 to life is what he got.
Is that good? Is that enough?
Mean, at 56 years old,
that's enough.
But I mean, I don't know. He's not going to hurt anybody else, I don't think.
I don't know.
This is one of those
that he lives with. It's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think
the biggest punishment is 18 years, no scratchy tickets. That's
no scratchies. Tough, he's going to be like, "Can you send scratchies?" Is his main fucking thing. He appeals on such a huge amount of shit that at one point I was reading his appeal, and they said that Most of his grounds are incomprehensible. They don't even,
Wow.
you can't even like make sense of what he's talking about in half
They
of
don't
these
even
appeals.
apply to this.
I don't know if he did it himself or what, or they're really like things that you can't. He has 15 grounds of appeal. 16.
Wow.
I have all 16
Jesus.
here. I'm not going to read them because it's just ridiculous, though. He said, though, one of them is accusing the prosecution of misconduct of unsubstantiated use of false bad character reference. Somebody said that he was not a great guy. So how dare you bring him up there? So either way, he appeals and appeals. He appeals once, gets rejected, then appeals with 16 grounds. It's a big, giant thing.
Yeah.
But his main appeal is the whole I asked for a lawyer and they didn't give me a lawyer thing.
Okay. Yeah. It's murky, but he didn't say lawyer.
He didn't say I want a lawyer right now. It's more should I have a lawyer, that sort of thing. And the fact that he just keeps admitting to shooting his brother, man. It's
Right.
just, I mean, he won't stop telling everybody about it. You know,
Yeah.
like he told the guy without even being asked about it. So
You want to appeal this because there wasn't one more person in the room when you were saying I killed my brother?
exactly. The
I
tape
need
recorder-
one more. The audience wasn't big enough.
The videotape doesn't quite give me what I'm looking for here. But either way, all the appeals are denied, and he is still in prison.
Yeah.
And now in his, that's 10 years ago, so he's mid-60s, 65, and probably looking, I don't know, he's probably up for parole pretty soon, I would think. So
Holy shit.
I'm not sure, but either way, there it is. That is Shawnee Township, Ohio, and just a crazy little house that went on. And I wanted to have an episode where we didn't have any dead kids or anybody raped. So
You nailed it.
We got it good here with a couple of crazy brothers. I thought that would be fun. If you like the episode, tell the world, get on whatever app you're listening to. Give us 5 stars. For some reason, it helps drive us up the charts. So do that.
That's the thing, yeah.
Takes 2 seconds. Say something nice. Not for our egos, we promise. Do that. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com where you can get everything small town murder and crime and sports, all the merchandise. Get your tickets to the October 27th virtual live show. From our studio to your house, but it's going to be just like a real live show. The screen, the desk, it'll be Halloween themed, available for 7 days after that. Hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do that. Follow us on social media. Also, we are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, Patreon.com/crime in sports. Bonus stuff. A cup of coffee, $5 or above gets you 100-something back episodes to binge of bonus stuff, and you're going to get every other week, you're going to get 2 new episodes. This week, you're going to get, for Crime and Sports, Danbury Trashers, which you'll have access to, by the way. Have access to all of it, which is a mafioso owned a hockey team. Bought it for a 17-year-old son.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about Heyman, Lee, and Adnan Syed and Serial, and we're going to talk about who we think might have done this horrible deed based on all the goddamn research we've done on this thing. So check all that out. Patreon.com/crime in sports is where you get all of that. That's about it, though. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Anybody, you want to follow us on social media, shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to everything right there. Come out, find us, hang out with us, listen to the regular show every Thursday, listen to Crime and Sports every Tuesday. Thank you so much, everybody.
On the station.
Until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit,
At the time, I was paranoid.
threats,
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
and murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.